Hello viewers, once again welcome to my YouTube channel and let's continue to learn. Today I will be talking about a situation that we term to as Rhesus incompatibility, a condition that only affects pregnant women. In this case, I will explain in details on how Rhesus compatibility occurs, what we mean by Rhesus incompatibility, and how can you prevent this, and what are the risks that are associated with this condition. As it is illustrated here in this picture, this is just an illustration of a pregnant woman and the fetus in there. As I began by saying, it's only meant for pregnant women. Now, this Rhesus incompatibility only results when a Rhesus negative mother has a fetus that carries a Rhesus positive. What we mean by Rhesus, in every blood group, we have either positive or negative Rhesus. And this Rhesus is a protein that is usually available in the red blood cells. It can be present, translating it into positive, or it can be absent, translating it into negative. Now, this Rhesus incompatibility results when a Rhesus negative mother is pregnant and the fetus she is carrying is Rhesus positive. This can only result if the father is Rhesus positive but the mother is Rhesus negative. Now, how does this Rhesus incompatibility occurs? During labor or during the delivery, these proteins of the fetus might get into contact with the cells of the mother. All right? Now, these cells of the mother, they tend to develop some antibodies so that they will attack the Rhesus positive of the fetus. These antibodies that develops here act as an immune response because they tend to think the positive Rhesus in the fetus can cause threat into the life of the mother. Now, when there is that interchange, these antibodies here starts to attack the antibodies of the fetus. All right? Now, when the fetus is attacked, in most of the time, this attacks the red blood cells, because remember we saying that these Rhesus are in red blood cells. When these the positive Rhesus of the fetus, they destroy the red blood cells, or they break down these red blood cells, a situation we medically term as hemolysis. They only target the mature red blood cells. When the red blood cells has been damaged, they resort to something that we refer to as bilirubin. Bilirubin, that one is the end product of the red blood cells after they have been broken down. So this bilirubin, the excessive content of bilirubin in blood may lead to brain damage of the fetus. And because the antibodies of the mother continues to attack the red blood cells or the mature red blood cells of the fetus, there will be no enough mature red blood cells in the fetus. When there is no enough red blood cells, then it means there will be no enough hemoglobin in blood or in the body of the fetus. As a result of all that breakdown, after now the mature red blood cells of the fetus have been attacked, then they are broken down into bilirubin. This bilirubin can result to brain damage of the fetus. When there is no enough red blood cells in the fetus, there is a cutoff of oxygen supply in the fetus. What this means, it means that the fetus will be deprived of oxygen. So when there is all that thing that is happening, there are things that will automatically happen into this fetus. Because of less hemoglobin in the red blood cells, the fetus will be anemic. Or in other words, the fetus will lack enough blood. Alright? A second thing that will happen, because there is no enough supply of oxygen, the fetus will be deprived of oxygen and will end up being cyanotic. What we mean by cyanotic is the baby or the fetus starts to turn bluish. Alright? Now, all that I have explained is what we term as rhesus incompatibility. But the funny thing here is, this rhesus incompatibility only affects the subsequent pregnancy. What this means, a woman can be pregnant. The very first pregnancy will be successful. She will give birth, but from the subsequent pregnancies, this woman will start to experience miscarriages. So it means that anytime she gets pregnant and ends up carrying a Rhesus positive fetus, that pregnancy does not survive. Alright? Now, how can we prevent this Rhesus incompatibility from occurring? We can prevent these Rhesus incompatibility from occurring by, number one, there is an injection that is given in between 28 to 32 weeks, but in most cases it is given at 28 weeks, an injection that we refer to as anti-D. The purpose of this anti-D is, when one given the anti-D injection, it alters the production of the antibodies by the mother. This means that inside the body or inside the cells of the mother, there will be no antibodies that can attack any positive Rhesus that gets inside the mother as a result of pregnancy. Alright, so this injection can be given at 28 weeks, or it can be given 72 hours after delivery. Because remember, we said this alteration and mixture of the Rhesus positive and Rhesus negative cells of the mother and the fetus occurs during delivery or labor. So when you give these injections 72 hours after delivery, it alters the production of antibodies. Alright? Now, if you fail to get this anti-D injection, you give birth, you never received this injection at 28 weeks, and even after giving birth, you fail to receive this anti-D injection, you are a candidate of experiencing recurrent miscarriages. So any pregnancy that you carry that contains a Rhesus positive fetus will end up into a miscarriage. All right? So that is one complication of this Rhesus incompatibility, and that is the main effect of issues with incompatible Rhesus. All right? Now, majority of women have been experiencing recurrent miscarriages now and then, not because they have any other problem, but because of this condition. All right? So, for you to be on the safer side, when you get pregnant, make sure that you know you are Rhesus. If you have gone into the hospital and you have been told that your blending group is B positive, B is the blend group, but positive is the Rhesus. The others who are B positive, AB positive, A positive, I don't have any problem with the people who carries the positive Rhesus. But my biggest concern is the people who carries this negative Rhesus. You are maybe blend group A negative, B negative, AB negative, O negative. I'm talking about that group of people. If you have this, the negative Rhesus, and you are pregnant, make sure at your 28th week, you receive an anti-D injection. All right? If you fail to receive an anti-D injection while you are pregnant, then make sure after delivery, immediately before 72 hours are over, you have received your anti-D injection. If you fail to receive this anti-D injection, then you become a candidate of recurrent miscarriages. That marks the end. And kindly, if this is the very first time when you are coming across this channel, I request for your subscription. Press the notification bell, share the link, comment, and like.